you said consistency too. Like I know we got questions, but we got to stop there, man, because I feel like that's so important and doesn't get talked about a lot. Like a lot of people, like they start out want to be producers, they get sidetracked, wanting to start a whatever new company or what, you know what I mean? Like kind of going down several different paths.
I think, I take music seriously. So when people ask me to get involved, yo, Timbo, okay, when you wake up, this understanding, like I'm a House of Dragons now. Like when you wake me up, I need you to be up in the morning.
Facts.
I need you to crank that computer up. I need like you asking me, because this is like when I love it. You know what I'm saying? It's hard enough to be a young adult, worrying about your bills and all this type of shit, just living life.
Real talk.
So just to do music and have people on your head top saying, "Oh, I don't know." Like I had to, coming from Virginia, we ain't had none of that. New York and everything else was like the hot spots. So the music, I just loved it. It made me feel rich.
Not to confuse everybody from me being confused, and we'll probably get to that part of where it is. And mind you, this is kind of a reaction where I've actually watched the content, so spoiler alert. Shout out to Producer Grind. I'll have it linked in the description box. You should watch it. Timbaland, I hold him in the highest degree of music producers that, inspire me 100%, like greatest of all time. And if you want to know my list, it is the Neptunes, Missy Elliott, Timbaland, Organized Noise, Shawty Red. Yeah. And that's not to slight any of because I know I'm boom bap biased, but there is, those are the people that inspire me the most. I want to know who inspires you the most. But on topic to what they're talking about right now, you have to juggle multiple hats in modern day society. Without you juggling multiple hats, you're gonna struggle, because we already know that you don't get paid that much from streams. So that's why when someone posts that they went platinum now, it's like, dude, you gotta at least acknowledge that you didn't really get a bag. And not to say that there aren't people getting bags out here, because there are people that are making good money producing, but dog, you have to 100% be a part of a whole bunch of, you have to start a movement practically to make decent income. And thank God that we have YouTube. And also to the point, because that was a loaded clip, I wanted to make sure that people know that I'm 100% that. I wake up around like 4 in the morning. Mind you, this is my only job. I wake up around 4 in the morning and I probably go to bed around like 12 a.m. and do it again every day. I've been doing that for the last 9 or 10 years, if not all the time when it comes down to this music stuff, because I believe, and you should believe in yourself.
Consistent for a long period of time. So when you say those names, I think about, I was in there. I was grinding. I was putting in that work.
100%.
I saw the love when I didn't have the love. I saw the love. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by when I say consistency. You gotta love it.
Yes.
Like love it. I tell producers, like, man, it's so much you can do with one loop.
Yeah.
They be like, "Oh, it's done." I say, well, "No, man, we can trick this bitch out. What are you talking about?"
Right.
Like, this thing can be shortened. We can chop this up. We can make 2 sounds, 2 notes. You got to look at that bitch as like, this was all you had to sell.
That crazy face.
You got to make this bitch into a 5-star meal. You know what I'm saying? So I chop. I'm like, people be too lazy.
Not to get on the young heads at all, because I know one of the biggest things is that we are haters. Like, us older cats are haters. That's what they look at it. But what younger cats got to understand is the biggest issue with y'all music is that y'all have so many options, but you're not utilizing your options when you're creating your production or just doing an overall song. Like, the biggest trend right now is to take a song that's already been a hit and remake it in some shape or form, and it's not better than the original. We kind of go back into the 90s or whatever, and let's keep it real. We were guilty of that too, taking loops like, let's say just like MC Hammer, Can't Touch This, and that's Rick James' Super Freak. Can't Touch This was arguably as good as Super Freak, if not better, if we're going to look at it in terms of popularity. However, it allowed people old and new to enjoy something that my parents enjoyed. And I'm a huge fan of Rick James. Now, if we're going to look at it at a sense in terms of gear, and I know you guys, again, might think I'm hating on y'all because I use Fruity Loops and stuff, but no, y'all are not utilizing those tools. The MPC of old didn't have many tools at all. You had to speed up records to get the most out of the sample time because you only had about 10 or 12 seconds at best. Depending on what type of drum sampler that you used, you probably had less than that. Got to utilize those tools, man. Find new ways. And that's basically how hip hop kind of transcended, or not kind of, has transcended. That's what made hip hop so great. Once you understood that it was just a drum sampler doing all those things production wise, bruh, it broadened the horizons.
What record that you produced did you really feel like you put your emotions into it? Like all your emotions?
All of them, man. I get it. I get offended when somebody don't like my
Factual.
shit. Cause you know what I'm saying? That's like me. You know what I'm saying? Not offended, like hurt my feelings because that shit is my baby, baby. I be like,
Right.
You hear that sound? Like producers got like, I think OG Parker said producer porn. Man, that was heavy back in our days. You know what I'm saying? Like the ear candy shit. Like that's what we live for. Like, oh, you hear that? You know what I'm saying? But then it's like nowadays you be like, what we hear and the customer hear, they're like, I don't hear that shit. Because you got to think about it. People came to me and said, yo, you got a baby in the record. So that lets me know they heard my ear candy. Mm-hmm. All my little shit that I put in records, they heard. So to go from knowing that to now saying that don't exist.
Trust me, this is an argument that we have all the time. Like, I don't know how to say this without offending a certain group of producers. I mean, I get it. Like, hearing someone have the same 808 and then wanting to have the same 808 because it's easy to, you know, do whatever to that 808 and then have that exact same sound is being far too traditional in modern day music. It's okay to experiment and push the envelope, like push the music forward. And when you have someone like Timbaland, he's a forward producer. You feel me? You know, he's not going to settle on one type of sound. And that's why it wasn't important to have beat tags back then. Like, it really wasn't important to have beat tags. And even in the early 2000s, when it became a little bit more prominent, you still knew what producer produced what. These days, it's like, okay, splice loop, you know, the exact same drum kit, and there's nothing special about it.
You know what the funniest thing? I think how would I get on if I'm 18, 20? I'll try to look for a community.
Fact.
To follow other people like me and just hear stories.
Just saying.
That's why I started Beat Club. You know, his stuff like, you know, I would look for stuff like that and find, you know, really use the internet. But I think I would get in a community and let the community be like, yo, that little kid Cole, just be quiet like I always been and doing my shit. It was Missy who told me that I was dope. I feel like it would be the same way around. I feel like somebody would vouch for me.
And that's what we do over here. We're trying to provide ways for people to make income instead of them going over to Reddit and trying to push someone else's packs for free or something like that. We do help people earn commission in that sense. We also try to do things where, you know, we try to do giveaways. And, you know, the main thing that, you know, I do on this channel is have that Discord ready and good to go, because there's no point of you not having a Discord and not talking to your audience constantly so that they understand that you do care about the community as a hand. That is actually my number one goal for 2022. And it's been that way, honestly, since forever. And now that it's coming into fruition, I just want you guys to be great at what you do.
You might collab. I think I would try to collab too with others. I think that's the big thing that I love about this generation.
I be telling y'all.
Collabs. You start a collab, it started to be fun. Because that's how if you really think about it, that's how I did it. I collab with Missy. She, you know, she's a producer in her own right. So it's like the collaboration and building something fresh, building something, you know, you just go a long way. You be the new kid on the block. I just feel like that's how I came in the game, really, as a producer under Devontae. I was under Jodeci. I was under him. He was a producer. We did Tupac. You understand? But he really did it. But being under him, you know what I'm saying, got the acknowledgement and look where I blossomed to being up under somebody.
Said it once, I will say it again. There are 3 C's: consistency, collaboration, and content. You need to be consistent. Don't mean that you're supposed to just drop a whole bunch of, not good quality stuff. Be consistent in what you drop and how good it is. Try to improve every single day. Promise you that will work. Collaboration. Don't be that lone wolf. There are people out there that want to say that they've done stuff on their own and all that. If you heard someone say that, you need to get away from them. Run away from that fool, because they are going to make you what? Stagnant as fuck. Pointless arguments. Last, content. That just speaks volumes on its own. If you're consistent, then you have content. And you need content for people to see, to engage with. And it doesn't have to be just music, guys. It doesn't have to be just music. Show people that you're a human being, for crying out loud. And not just you holding your cell phone at your DAW and spinning it around. Have tips, tricks. Look at all the best at what they do in their respective categories. And I promise you, you will find solutions and probably new ways and aspects that they haven't looked at.
Because, you got a lot of OGs that be hating on us. They be like, man, y'all not real producers. Y'all.
Let's keep it real. I've seen more hating comments from people of your generation than our generation. What it is, you guys cannot handle criticism, and a lot of you guys don't want to grow past clicking on a button. I'm going to keep it funky and fresh. A lot of you guys want to continue to use FL Studio until you're 40-something years old, and then when people don't take you serious at large, because there's a selective some that make it, and then there are some people that, they use FL Studio and they got skills for real, but that isn't the majority. Let's keep it funky. So learn how to take criticism, young man, and perhaps you might get further than you doing some type of type beat tutorial. And if it's working for you, that's cool too. But then what happens when you become our age? Because what the youth don't understand is that while y'all sitting there calling us old ass niggas and whatever else y'all want to call us, it's a blessing to be around our age, because we've seen it all and we want to help you as much as possible. But if you're so sensitive, then guess what? This won't happen. You won't get past a certain point. And guess what happens to you? You fade away. You fade away. Don't believe me. I don't care, but that's what's going to happen if you cannot take criticism, especially constructive criticism.
It touches your soul. Now, that's the only thing that I think people have a problem with is AI, because now it's so rhythmic. So the bounce, I think that's what I think when, OG might say something, it's the bounce of the computer versus hand felt touching of doing,
100%.
Of human bounce. So I think what happened was that to own, and it just, everything just so like
syncopated.
You know what I'm saying?
Quantized type shit.
Yeah, and I think that's what kind of like threw
generation
the OGs
off.
and throw them off. You know what I'm saying?
You said AI though, and that's a whole other conversation. How you feel about that? Like, you think we got to be worried about
over.
It's over. They taking our jobs,
bruh.
AI.
Hey, bro, I'm already.
This man said, "What does AI stand for?" Oh my god. Now, seriously though, I don't think a lot of people understand that if this generation is going to move towards the simplicity side of it and quantizing every single piece, then what's to stop the future generations from listening to artificial intelligence? I've done a review on Melody Sauce too. By far one of the best AI music generators out there. You can hate on it all you want to. If we're talking about the simple shit that is out on the radio right now, it can do it by far. If we're talking about complex jazz pieces, yeah. Now we're talking, you have to partake with that. But AI is definitely better than a lot of people. And if you are a young music producer, I would spend more time with something like Melody Sauce 2 and Scalar 2. At least with Scalar 2, there is some interaction, but your music has a higher chance of being better. I have plenty of content on my channel that talks about AI generated music, AI generated masters, and so forth. And trust me, guys, like unless you have diversed yourself in information about artificial intelligence, then don't try to argue in the comment section. I know someone's going to do that, and you're just going to look like a buffoon, and I'm not going to partake in it. But AI, if we're basing it off of modern day music, can do a whole lot more than what a normal human being can do that doesn't have the years of amount of data points, quote unquote, knowledge, or just AKA knowledge. So yeah, I wouldn't hate on it. So I'm not going to watch the whole entire interview. There were some parts where he was talking about, owning a digital wallet, which I kind of agree and disagree on. Like, as far as like cryptocurrency and NFTs, dude, like all you have to do is observe the market for what it is right now. And trust me, with FTX getting the hell out of there, Coinbase is going to follow, and many other cryptocurrencies. So I don't agree with Timbaland on that shake. And that kind of confused me that he would even take it there, especially when it's probably more feasible for you to just start your own business. Though that isn't as feasible for many people unless they're doing some type of snake shit. I do think that, some digital wallets, PayPal, Cash App and so forth, that have ties with banks, and even the banking system right now is broken because of our economy falling. But I definitely want to hear from you guys. How do you feel about the interview? Links in the description box. Thank you, Producer Grind, for doing that. Timbaland, you know how I feel. Thank you so much for all of what you've done for me.